Kris Cantrell from Bear Country Outdoors. We are out in the gun shop. I have my 375 CheyTac build that we're getting ready to mount a Leupold Mark 5. We got the 7 to 35 by 56. It's a first focal plane scope, so where I'm going hunting in Alaska, you have to shoot a moose that's larger than 50 inches in width. So to do that, I needed a first focal plane scope, so that's why we're going to be using this one. Now I threw my levels on it. We're getting pretty close to putting some rings on here. I'll just double check everything here. That's looking pretty good. Pretty good there. So for this scope, we're going to be using some American Rifle Co. rings. They have a very unique pivoting design here. I really like them. When you put these together, there's only 2 bolts, so it's like 55 inch-pounds I think that you torque these things to, but there's no pull left or right, so very, very easy to mount. So we'll just kind of mock this up real quick, make sure that we know where we're going to put our rings. We'll put one like yay, one about right there. So when you're mounting your scope, when you're setting your rings on there, if you're using a Picatinny style scope ring, you want to make sure that you push that ring to the forward of the gun, so when the gun recoils, if you have this ring sitting in the back of that slot there, it's going to move. So you want to make sure both of your rings are pressed forward. So we're just going to set those in, pull them to the face of that, and torque those down. Now with any precision ring, you should not have to lap these, so they should be perfectly straight, and we will see that when we go to set the scope in, if it sits down nicely or if it sits up high on one end or not. Just double check the torque on these. We'll just double check it real quick. That looks pretty good right there. Again, when you look on the, so this is a 35 mil main tube on this scope, and you can very slightly see the crease of where that bell starts, and you just want to make sure that you have plenty of room in between that in your scope ring, because obviously you don't want to crush any part of your scope or your bell, especially if you got a high torque scope ring. So we'll tighten this back up. Looks pretty good. Double check these. So we have this is made by Wheeler, so it's like their level system. So I already put this on the pick rail in the back and leveled the front, so I can move this gun back and forth, and I don't have to worry about that because I can always check my level down on the muzzle end of the gun there. So we can see exactly where that bubble's sitting. We'll place this level up on the scope now, and we'll get our bolts for the tops of our rings. Again, the base bolts and the top bolts for these rings are the same torque spec, which is really nice because you don't have to remember 2 numbers. But they're built like, I don't know if I'm allowed to say brick shit house, but they're built like a brick shit house. Doug's looking at me like I might have to edit that out later. We'll see. So we'll get that set up just right. So again, this is a 375 CheyTac. It's going to be a very high recoiling cartridge. So you need, number one, a scope that can handle that much recoil and not blow to bits. And then you also need a ring that can hold this. We use Leupold rings on some of our stuff as well. I do really like the American Rifle Co. rings. They're just very, very easy to put on. It's a very unique design with the hinges and just the one bolt. Like I said, you can just tighten these up and it doesn't pull the scope one way or the other because you have equal points of force coming up in the middle. So, it looks pretty close right there. You do want to make sure it's perfect because we are going to be shooting a very, very long ways. And if your scope is canted one way or the other when you dial your dope, you're going to be coming in at an angle and you are sure to miss your target. So we do not want that. We don't need perfection, but we need perfection. So if you're wondering who's barking in the background, that's my mother-in-law's dog, Gus. He's just saying hi to everybody. A new mascot today as well. Thank you, John Hayes from Hayes Taxidermy. This is Bob. Just like our good friend Bob over at PN Wild. How you doing, Bob? Okay, that looks pretty darn good there. Now we're going to torque this down and we're going to watch that bubble and see if we get any sort of movement whatsoever. Minus me jostling the gun around. That's perfect. So again, American Rifle rings, very unique design as a gun builder, scope installer. These are pretty tough to beat because there's no shimmying back and forth and tightening this and tightening that and tightening this. So highly recommend. That's all we needed. So our 7-35 by 56 Mark V is installed on our 375 CheyTac. We are going to be going to the range tomorrow to shoot it, and we'll let you know how it does. So if you have any questions, you can drop us a comment down below. If you have any specific questions for Leupold, you can contact them at leupold.com. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you next time.